So welcome to this topic of Introduction to Robot Framework. What we are gonna try to do today is to give you all the basic and basic concepts and knowledge of Robot Framework, and to discuss a short demo so you can get started. This is the outline of the lecture, what we want to discuss. So first, before beginning with any kind of a tool, we should try to understand why do we need it. Because basically, if we don't need a tool, why should we learn and start using it and pretty much spend time on it? Then we'll discuss some features of the robot framework, a little bit of quick setup. I will share a few steps that you can try to follow. Of course, you will need more details, but I will share what I can. I will discuss a project with project and file structure with robot. So these are two main concepts: how the project should look like and how your file should look like with robot framework. We'll discuss some details as well about them, like yeah, we'll see. You will see. I have more slides. And finally, we'll walk through the test result report, which is one of the most important features of robot framework. So let's get started. Why do we need such a tool? So there is so many automation tools out there. When you start choosing a tool, why should you consider robot framework? Because it has, in my opinion, it has 2 or 3 main advantages which make it unique for your use case. So if your use case wants to implement test cases in business language, which is closer to the English language, let's say, or the basic terms we use in everyday functional testing, then robot is a good option, as well as it supports a wide variety of use cases. And by that, I mean, you can find tons of different libraries that you can add to robot framework. For example, you need support for some operating system calls. You use operating system library, you need Selenium, you need Appium. Just keep on downloading the libraries, and it will add capabilities, such capabilities to your test automation. And yeah, it supports Python and Java. These are the two ways I have used it, and I think these are the most common and most commonly used ways of using robot framework: to integrate it, to run it using Python, and or to use a standalone jar file with robot framework. So in our current project, we are running it using Java. So it's just a jar file that you need to download from Maven and integrate into your Maven project, and then you will get robot framework capabilities into your project. Python is like the has the basic support, and Python provides more capabilities, let's say. So yeah, more or less, if you are trying to use Python and Java for your test automation, robot framework becomes a natural choice. For example, if you have lots of users who are already aware with Python and Java programming language, choosing robot framework might help you get up to speed really fast. There is more things like Jython and Iron Python that I was reading it can support, but I never used them. Yeah, but if you're interested, you can always read more about this. Some of the features that make it useful. There is lots of external libraries available. As I mentioned, I will show you the page where you can find the libraries. It's cross-platform. It can run on Windows, Mac, Linux, wherever you want to run it. It supports 2 major programming languages, Java and Python, which pretty much cover a whole lot of programming in general because they are so common. It has excellent test result reports. So when you have an issue, when you have a failing test, it's much easier to pinpoint the problem. It even takes snapshots for you. So for example, if you have 10 steps and the test failed at the sub step of step 9, then you will have a pointer to that step as well as a screenshot if you're using the UI, if you're writing the UI tests, and it's really useful. Again, I'm going to show it to you later. It writes it enables you to write tests in business language, and yeah, that's also very useful. Okay, let's so the robot framework has a central website where you can find all the information that you need for doing some automation, as well as on the website, on the sublinks, there is a link for a user guide, which is pretty much the whole guide in a single page. Let me show it to you. So yeah, this is the common resource website. Here you can find everything uh, from introduction to the libraries. You can read about it. Robot Framework is a generic open source automation framework. Um, yeah, it's implemented using Python, Jython, and Iron Python. I'm not much aware about Jython and Iron Python, but I do know a little bit Python. Robot framework itself is open source and stuff like that. It's clear and easy. This is a diagram that explains how the robot framework is designed. What are the layers in it? I will show you another diagram, just a little bit. Try to make it easier to understand, even though it's easy enough. But yeah, I will show you another diagram in the next slides. Lots of people are using it, so large community support. No need to worry about yeah, deprecation anytime. It's still being used and it will continue to be used in quite a lot of use cases. Um, some of the test cases, like examples of how a test case looks like in Robot Framework. This is test case. I will show you a live project for more details. The reports, yeah, these are pretty much the selling points of Robot Framework, which make it useful and unique. Keywords you can define. Library, this is like how an internal library is designed. Templates. Um, I will show you these things, but in a slightly different way. But yeah, this page is important. When you click on libraries, you have these external and standard libraries. So the external libraries are, if you want, let's say, if you want to do UI automation using Selenium, then you can just search for Selenium. And this is the library that you can install. I will show you how on Python environment as well as in Java if you need. Um, these are the standard libraries which yeah, external are like Appium for mobile development. For Python, if you need some database support, database, you can use database library you want to. Yeah, these are all available here for you to use. These are the internal ones for common use cases like some operating system actions, datetime libraries, and yeah, those are the ones I'm aware about. But these are like the basic ones, and some more here. I don't know which these are, but of course, if you need them, you can Google them. So this is the libraries, tools, learning, community, lots of stuff here, and GitHub. This is where the robot framework code is on GitHub. And yeah, of course, if you need to actually dig too much in detail, you can come here, download the source code and try to find something, but I never had to do it so far. So we are good. Um, um, yeah, these are the resources that I showed you. How can you set up the tool? So I will give you some pointers. I have prepared a small Word document, but which you can try to follow. And I know it's not a whole lot of detail, but I think it could help you. So there is two ways you can run that I am aware of. First is to use Python to um, set up and run robot framework test automation. Um, First, you need to install Python, of course, and then install the pip, which is the package manager for Python. There is a link if you want to read more about it. Once you have Python and pip installed, you can use pip to install robot framework. Just do pip install robot framework. This is something that I did. pip install robot framework, and I already had robot framework, so it did not give me much of output. But I was missing the Selenium library, so I did pip install robot framework Selenium library, and then it installs Selenium library. It goes to collect robot framework Selenium library, and it's giving me more details of what else it's downloading, like dependencies. So it first collecting Selenium, which is 3.141 version, and yeah, some more stuff it downloads, and finally it just installs me. So for me, it's just a single command to install the Python version of robot framework. Then you need to install PyCharm, which I already have here. You can easily, it's an IDE, you like most of you might already have used it at some point for Python. Install it. Then you need a plugin. So even if you have like the Python installed, sorry, PyCharm installed, these files will not look as colorful and easy to understand to you if you don't have this Intellibot plugin installed. So usually what we can do is we can go here in settings and search for plugins, and here you can search for Intellibot. Um, but yeah, the version that is available in the marketplace, it had some bugs. So what I had to do, and I did it a little while ago, so maybe it changed again. So what I had to do is to download a custom version of Intellibot plugin from a GitHub repo, which is a fork of the original version. I have given the link here. If you face any issues, if you try to find it here, you install it, and if you still have some issues, you will see some red errors here, like it cannot, there are some errors that it cannot parse the files. Then what you need to do is to download this GitHub version, which is a fork. This is what I downloaded a little while ago. I didn't redo it in some time, so maybe something changed. Yeah, here it is. There is some instructions of how to install this custom Intellibot plugin. There is, yeah, README file installation and usage. So try to read it and install it. But yeah, I mean, it's not a rocket science, so I'm sure you will figure it out. Uh, Set up the robot options in PyCharm. This one is for convenience. So in PyCharm, if I go to settings again, and if I search for robot options, yeah, robot options, then you will see some variable, some check marks that you can customize according to your use case. So for example, this one is usually what people change. So expand in robot framework, the spaces, different spaces mean different things. So if you have one space, it's part of that same sentence. If you have two or three or more spaces, then it's a way of passing variables arguments to a method. So some if you uncheck this, then if it's by default it's checked. So if you type two or three spaces, it's going to change them to four to be consistent everywhere. But some people prefer to uncheck it. For me, it's checked. It's up to you. You can so yeah, as you see, like here there is more spaces, and there's four spaces actually, and it's just one space, and this is how the robot framework file is being read. More spaces mean different than less spaces, and you need to be careful with that. uh, then there is a Java way of doing the same stuff. You just go to this Maven repo. You can find this link also on the robot framework central repository, but I put it here just for some convenience. Yeah, from here you can download this robot framework. You can put it as a dependency, as a Maven dependency into your Maven project, and pretty much that's the only thing you will need, if I remember correctly. Um, and you have a give control anyway. Um, yeah, these are the two ways and that I have used. Finally, you will need some web drivers if you're trying to do UI automation. Just a point to mention here. These capabilities, they don't always end up in you using web drivers and UI automation. So robot framework can do lots of stuff. You might just automate simple steps on operating system, like putting some files, renaming them, checking for file integrity, those kind of things. You can also use do API automation using robot framework. But if you plan to do UI automation, which I'm going to demonstrate, then you will need to download and install web drivers. So on my machine, I have web drivers here. Under programs, unzipped web drivers, I have put 3 drivers: Chrome driver, Kiko driver, Microsoft, and this is an old version. It's a backup. I can delete it, but I'll delete it later. Just download and install the web drivers as needed. And you will need, for example, if you have a downloaded latest Chrome driver, then you will need to have the latest version of Chrome installed on your machine as well, which probably you are aware from other automation. If you're not, be careful about this. Otherwise you will get some errors that the Chrome driver that you downloaded is not compatible with the Chrome version that you have installed. This is it. This is some simple steps for automation for the setup of the tool, which I'm going to share later. Let's talk about how the project should look like in Robot Framework. There is a diagram that I prepared. Probably it's open somewhere. Yeah, here. So yeah, first layer, like usually people like to do it in layers, which is also good. I have seen 2 approaches so far. First is write your test case in a test case file, .robot file, which is something like what I showed you here. It's a .robot file, and this is actually a test case. So yeah, this is a test case where you have written in simple business logic, language, some of the steps like open website, search for the product, check the product. Even the non-technical people can come to this page and understand what the test case is doing. And this is the main advantage of this. And it's actually, even for technical people, it's much faster to understand a test case from this point of view rather than going into Java all the time and understanding it. Here you can see what are the steps. There is a structure which I will show you just in a bit. But yeah, this is what the robot file looks like. This is a test case, and that test case can, if you're using a page object model in which your web pages are all a page, and even their components, like maybe the top navigation bar, you can create a different page. So for example, in my project, I have created page object model for the following pages. So there is a home page. Ignore these red errors. They are because the Intellibot plugin is not able to identify the keywords that I'm using from the Selenium library. I will debug it later, the main reason for it. But actually all of this is working. I will show you a demo. So home page, just to open the website and wait until the page contains, yeah, just some kind of a check yeah, it's probably not the best check, but some check. Top bar, so what I'm showing you is actually for Amazon website, amazon.com, and in amazon.com, so this is a home page. Also, this top navigation bar that you see, it's treated as a different page. And if I click on a product, if I search for something, this is the test case that is being automated. Then if I can click on one of the products, and this will be another page. Then we'll check for something here, if add to cart is available or not, and that will be our test case for the first day's purpose. But yeah, this is how the pages are defined. Search results is a page, sign in is a page, top navigation bar is a page, and this test case file calls this Amazon app. This is just another layer that is added here. It's up to you how you want to design it. But for example, if I'm doing open website, then open website is actually going to just perform another action, which is home.open website. If I do search for the product, then it's going to combine two of the actions. So it's going to take top bar and search for the product, and also it's going to search for the results, going to the search results page, which is this one, and it's going to verify search completed. So this file calls these keywords, and these keywords in turn call different page material, different pages. And this is like a small page object model demo for you. But yeah, this is one way. Another way I've seen is people organize everything in utility files. So it doesn't necessarily have to be page object if you don't have pages so clearly defined. In one of the projects, I have seen people using utility files which are just grouped based on similar functionality. So for example, um, if you have a functionality of navigation, then navigating everywhere is navigated from one page to another, to third page, fourth page is in one file. Search results are in one file. Yeah, different logic of grouping the files. It's actually in my current project, it's slightly different. Then these things call internal robot libraries. So you, let me show you what I mean. So once you are on a page, so for example, search result, yeah. Here verify search completed. This is calling another keyword, which is wait until page contains, and this is red because it's part of this library, Selenium library, which we downloaded from the internet. So these keywords are available or already designed and ready-made. You just need to use them. So you just put wait until page contains and something. Yeah, this is the page, and it's also using a variable search term. So search term is also probably defined here. Yeah, this is a variable file which in which I separated all the variables into another file, and this search term is here, so it comes from here. So in the search results, we are waiting until the page contains this, and this is a keyword that is calling Selenium library. That's another step of using, it's actually an external library, sorry. Um, this one. Internal libraries are ones which you use for some basic stuff like operating system, date time. Probably you can also skip them. As in this case, we are directly calling an external library. And I'm actually not using any, yeah, as far as I know, I'm not using any internal libraries in this use case. Okay. So we talked about that. The next thing I want to show you is, yeah, go through the structure of a robot script file. So there is four main sections, which is settings, variables, test cases, and keywords. And inside each section, there is some subsection. So you can write documentation, library. For example, if you want to import some internal or external library, then you use the library keyword. Then you have variables, test cases, and keywords. Let me show these to you in the project. Uh, this is the this is the test case, and here this is the settings section, which is the first one that I showed you. You import resources, so other files that you want to use within this context, you can import them like this. You can specify test setup and test tear down, which will happen before and after the test case. So I have a begin web test keyword, which is going to open the browser, and it takes a variable browser, and it's going to maximize the browser. So it's opening the browser, and the end web test just closes the browser. These are some simple steps of opening and closing in the test setup and test tear down. This is under section settings. Only other section that I have here is test cases. It's because other sections have been separated in different files. This is an actual test case. Amazon app, open website, search for the product, check out the product, different steps. The other two sections that I showed you are actually separated in this project. So variables is here in this file separated. the name of the browser is a variable homepage, and like if you write like a really ugly test case or just the first basic test case, you can have everything in one file. And then every time you make a change in the variable, then you will have to commit in the same file again and again, which is not very clean, also not very organized. So different sections are in different places. Uh, Variables, test cases, and keywords. So keywords are defined here. Keywords are basically grouping of different steps. So if you want to check out the product, what will be the steps? You will have to search for the product first. You will have to select a product and wait for the buy button to load, and then you have to check out the product. So it's how you can define keywords based on multiple steps. Okay, so this is how the file is organized. Um, yeah, now is the time to actually run this, and I've actually intentionally put failure error in this project to show you how easy it is to debug, at least for the basic test cases. So yeah, let's try to run this test case. So currently we have only one test case in this project, which is amazon.robot, and it's going to open the website, search for the product, check out the product, and confirm that login is actually required to check out. You can't proceed without to the checkout without login. So uh, another thing that I forgot to mention, that how this project how I created this project in PyCharm. When you will create a new project, so if I create new project, it asks, there is two options, virtual environment and existing interpreter. So in Python, if I select virtual environment, it pretty much creates like a separate Python environment and setup. So if I show you the project, how it looks like on the disk, you will understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so this is the project on the disk, and these are the files that I was showing you: resources, page object folder, and results will be here when we run them. This is the test file where I have just one test case, and everything related to the environment is actually in this folder, which is v virtual environment. It's like a small environment created by Python. I'm not a huge expert in this, how it works, but to me it looks like it's a separate setup for my especially for this project. And if I have to package and deliver, I will have to package and deliver the whole environment. It would probably help me if I'm migrating from one installation to another, because my virtual environment will still be the same. Anyways, getting back to the running of the project. So I have used the virtual environment, and Python and everything is installed. I ran it this morning, and this time I chose Amazon, which it's supposed to be available all the time. So let's see. This command is simply an instruction. I'm at the folder inside my robot framework. I am inside the Amazon folder, and here I am specifying the instruction that uh, the results should be put in a folder which is called results. So this is a folder where the result should appear. This is the -d flag that is doing it, and this is the actual test that it should run. And if I run it, it's going to open the website, search for something, black shirt, click on the second product, and it's going to try to see if there is a buy now button available here. Actually, it's going to try to see something wrong, and it's going to fail. So why did it fail? Let's try to debug. This folder now contains results. This is a results file from robot. It's really useful. To open it, you just open the report.html file, and this is just the metadata that's connected to this HTML file. So this HTML is going to use this data to show you the statistics, these XML and log file. So the way I would open it usually is just double clicking on it, and then there is an option for opening from in the browser. I'm going to use Chrome, and you see everything is red. The test failed. The reason we can let's try to see in this report what was the reason for the failure. You can see that we had some critical tests, we had all tests, everything. We have only one test, so under each category we have only one. If we look by tags, we have one test case which is by the tag home, then one by the tag search. This is coming from the test case which is here. These are the tags that we defined. First one is home and search. It's basically a way to group your test cases. So if you have many different test cases covering different functionalities, you can group them by specifying tags, and they will be easily visible in test report. Here by tags, also by different ways. So here you can specify by tags. You have home and search, suit name. We have only one suit, which is Amazon, and you can also search them by specifying some of the terms like suit, test, things like that. Anyways, let me see what happened for this test case. You can see that Amazon dot this is the name of the test case. Amazon dot user must be logged in for checkout. Let's see where it is in the project. So here it is. User must be logged in for checkout. This is the basic name of the test case, and um, I clicked on the test case, so we can see it's broken down into hierarchy, which makes it a little bit easier or quite a lot easier to understand. So what happened in this test case? User must be logged in for checkout. First, the setup happened, begin web test, and it opened the browser, and then it maximized the browser. It was successful. Everything is green. Then it opened the website, which is the second step. Again, everything green, but the red starts here. In the check out the product step. The first step, which is click second product from the list, was successful. But the second step, which is wait for buy button to load, is red. So what happened here? It says wait until page contains buy broken. This I intentionally put here to see what happens. It's actually looking for text buy broken on this page, which obviously is not there. Here is buy, like in this case actually there is nothing here, but usually there should be buy now button here. That's what the test case. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Sometimes the buy now button is here. It depends on the product actually. Anyways, that's not the point. So it's searching for buy broken, and of course it failed because it's not there. Another great thing that should have happened is robot framework goes ahead and takes a snapshot of the failing step. So when it did not find this buy broken text, it actually took the snapshot of that page. And as you can see, when it searched for black shirt men's and it opened that page, and here it's looking for buy now button, but it's not here, and it's quite convenient and easy to see that the buy now button never loaded in here. That's another cool feature that you can use. So let's try to fix it. So the test failed in check out the product. So let's go to check out the product definition. This is check out the product. It consists of 3 steps. Search results was okay, as you remember. Product detail, this one was failing. Wait for the buy button to load. Let's see. Now we are in the page object model into the page itself, and here wait until page contains it's broken. Basically, it needs to be by now, even though I'm not sure it will pass now because the buy now button sometimes loads, sometimes doesn't, depending on the product itself. I'm clicking a random product. So anyways, let's try again. I'm gonna clean this up, the old screenshot and the reports, even though it's not necessary, but I would still do it. And I'm going to run it again. So it opens the website, searches for black shirt, clicks on second product. Buy now button appears. So it clicks on buy now and then it takes to the sign in page, and that was the check. So when you click on buy now, it's going to click on check out the product, which is, yeah, it's just clicking the button on clicking the buy now button, and finally it's going to verify that the sign in page is opened, and for that we see some sign in text. Page should contain this and page should contain this. You can again create even better automation by, yeah, by variabilizing even more. Here I have put some variables in the same file, which is not the best practice. Probably I should create a separate file and it will be easier. So it just checks for these two texts on the page, sign in and create your Amazon account. That means that sign in page is loaded. And this is it, the test pass. Let's look at the report now. What it says. This time no screenshot here, as you can see, because nothing failed. Everything is green, very green. User must be logged in for checkout. We have, you can see all the steps passed. We begin web test, open website, search for the product, check out product, confirm that login is required, and the end of the web test. If you can also run it in debug mode. So yeah, this is another useful tip that sometimes when you have some exceptions and problems, it's always good to immediately switch to debug mode. So usually we can add debug mode by adding some kind of, I know how I did it in Java. I don't remember in Python, but you can always Google it, but it should be something like this or this. Run it, then any exception or problem that happens will have a full stack trace, just like any Java project, and it will be in the test report. So you will see exactly where things failed. Uh, yeah, I think that's it for everything I wanted to show today. Next lecture we can try to go into more details.